So let's start with basic principles of organic chemistry. What I will be doing is I'll be solving the MCQs based on the topics, and along with the MCQs, I will be discussing the concepts. तो जो भी concepts related है वो मैं साथ साथ में discuss करते जाऊंगा. ठीक है, तो you can open your volume 5 entrance MCQs. Keep it handy. So in the IUPAC isomerism, the section A, fundamental organic chemistry. Okay, starting with the first question, the number of sigma and pi bonds in the following molecule is respectively. Now, pi bonds are present in the multiple bonds, double or triple. A double bond is a combination of one sigma and one pi. The triple bond is a combination of one sigma and two pi. So looking at the structure, there is a ring aromatic in nature, which is having three double bonds. So 3 pi would be over here, then 1, that is 4, then 5, and then 6. 5 bonds so सीधे सीधे दिख रहे हैं, they are equal to 6. Now sigma bonds. All the carbon atoms would be joined by sigma bonds. So double में भी there will be one sigma bond और बाकी single bonds जो है वो भी sigma bonded होंगे. ठीक है, so 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 of the ring, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 second ring, 13 and 12 and 13. तो ये तो हो गए जो सिग्मा बॉन्ड्स विजिबल है फ्रॉम द बॉन्ड लाइन फॉर्मूला. बट इफ यू लुक एट द कार्बन की वैलेंसी, बिकॉज इट इज टेट्रावेलेंट, दिस कार्बन का फोर्थ वैलेंसी विल बी सेटिस्फाइड विथ H. सिमिलरली आप अगर कार्बन्स को देखोगे तो दिस कार्बन्स विल हैव द हाइड्रोजन्स आल्सो बॉन्डेड टू देम, व्हिच आर ऑब्वियसली सिग्मा बॉन्डेड. So 13 तो पहले के थे and 6 more with the hydrogen will be equal to 19. So there are 19 sigma bonds and 6 pi bonds. ऐसे टाइप के क्वेश्चंस भी आते हैं where identifying the correct number of sigma and pi bonds is asked. The correct answer to this would be option 1. Clear? Anyone having any doubt in the basics, what I'm discussing in today's session, please interrupt in the middle and tell me if you have not understood, okay, or if anything else is required for explanation. Next, the number of primary, secondary, and tertiary carbons in the following structure are respectively. Now, if you look at the structure, it's a hydrocarbon wherein the carbon atoms are joined by single bonds. So basically, it is having the structure with respect to an alkane. Now, alkane as a hydrocarbon में, a primary carbon is that carbon which is attached to only one carbon. So out of 4 valences, अगर एक bond carbon से attached है, तो remaining 3 for a hydrocarbon will be satisfied with
3H.
3H. मतलब primary in an alkane is CH3. Secondary will be
CH2.
tertiary will be
CH.
and there is one more called
Quaternary.
quaternary, in which there is no hydrogen present. करेक्ट. तो कार्बन के साथ जहां हाइड्रोजन दिख रहे हैं दैट इज इजी टू अंडरस्टैंड, और जहां नहीं दिख रहे हैं वहां पे सी लिखो एंड लुकिंग एट द बॉन्ड सेटिस्फाई द H. So with 3 bonds, the fourth valency will be H, again CH. With 2 bonds, it will be satisfied now as CH2, 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 and CH2. So now, looking back at the question, primary carbons कितने हैं?
3.
3. The number of CH3 groups are 3. Secondary यानी CH2 वाले कार्बन कितने हैं?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6 over here. And tertiary CH वाले कार्बन
3.
are 3. The answer is 3, 6 and 3. Fine.
Yes,
So
sir.
this is the detail about type of carbon atom in saturated compound, specifically alkane. Next, which of the following compound has sp, sp2, and sp3 hybrid carbon atoms? Now, for a carbon atom, if it is single bonded and all the valences are satisfied by sigma bond, the hybridization is
sp3.
sp3, geometry tetrahedral. If it is double bonded, it will be
sp2,
sp2 planar, and triple bonded would be
sp3,
eh,
sp, sorry.
sp linear. Acha, if you have a carbon which is joined by two double bonds, then what is the hybridization of the central carbon?
SP.
sp. Because a carbon with two double bonds indicates two sigma bonds and two pi bonds. And hybridization is a concept related with only sigma bonds, axial overlap. So अगर कार्बन दो डबल बॉन्ड्स के साथ है जिसको क्यूमुलिन्स बोलते हैं, क्यूम्योलिन्स या फिर अलीन्स बोलते हैं, the carbon in that case is sp hybridized. Very important. Cumulins या अलीन्स. ठीक है. So now कौन से कंपाउंड में तीनों हाइब्रिड कार्बन एटम्स है?
Fourth.
Fourth. Fourth would not be correct because the first carbon is sp2, second is sp2, third is sp, and fourth is sp. There's no sp3 carbon.
First one.
First one. Because first one में जो single bonded carbon है that is sp3 दोनों तरफ. ये क्यूमुलिन है तो ये वाला कार्बन s sorry. So cumulins में the central carbon is sp, and this carbon atoms on either side with only one double bond would be sp2. So the answer is first one. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Seventh, the number of sp2 hybrid sigma bonds in the following compound is. So double bonded carbons are sp2 and उनके बीच में जितने भी सिग्मा बॉन्ड्स हैं वो sp2 सिग्मा बॉन्ड्स हैं. So the number of sigma bonds by sp2 overlap would be 3. Now one more thing. This type of compounds in which the two rings are joined by two carbon atoms are called bicyclo compound. A compound in which two rings are joined by two carbon atoms in common is called bicyclo. Versus अगर हमारे पास दो rings है which are joined by one carbon in common, then they are called spiro compounds. Bicyclo में two carbon common and spiro में one carbon common. That is the difference between the cyclic rings का fusing. ठीक है, नोट करते जाओ जैसे जैसे लिखा रहा हूं. Along with that MCQ itself, please make note.
Sir, can you repeat what are spiro compounds?
Spiro compounds are fusion of two cyclic rings joined by one carbon common. Highlight this. And bicyclo में दो cyclic ring का fusion होता है with two carbons common. यहाँ दो common होता है, यहाँ one common होता है, इतना ही फर्क है. Fine.
Yes, sir.
Okay, now section B comes to the classification and the common name of organic compounds. So if you recollect, organic compounds were classified into two types, open chain and closed chain. The open chain were also called acyclic or non-cyclic compounds. And since they had the properties of fats, they were derived from a Greek word aliphatic, and that is aliphatos, and that is why they are called aliphatic compounds. So acyclic or open chain or aliphatic compounds. On the other hand, we have cyclic or the closed chain compounds. Now, within the open chain or acyclic, the carbon atoms can be linked either in the
Straight chain.
straight chain or it can be branched. Now, the straight chain compounds are given a prefix
And
N because they are also called normal compounds. Hence, there is a prefix of N given. And branched may, they can be further classified into
iso and neo.
iso and neo. By definition, what is iso?
One branch on the second carbon.
One carbon branched on the second carbon of the straight chain. And it gives an appearance of
T.
T.
T shape. तो iso को मैं T shape alkenes बोलता हूँ. One carbon branched on second carbon of the straight chain. And neo
Plus.
plus. Because by definition, neo are those compounds in which two carbons are branched on second carbon of the straight chain. The branch cannot be on the third, fourth, or any other carbon of the straight chain. It has to be on the second carbon only. अगर third या fourth या कोई और carbon पे है of the straight chain, then it can't be named as iso or neo. In that case, we don't have a common name available for those compounds. Because of that, a standardized, universally accepted system of nomenclature was adopted called
Iupac.
Iupac. Okay. So that covers your acyclic or open chain or aliphatic compounds. Now the cyclic are classified into homo and hetero. Homocyclic has all the atoms in the ring as carbon. That is why they are also called carbocyclic. And heterocyclic mein, apart from carbon, there is at least one non-carbon atom, like oxygen, nitrogen, sulfur, non-carbon atom. Homocyclic are further classified into alicyclic and aromatic. So alicyclic नाम में ही definition है. They are those cyclic compounds which have properties of
Aliphatic.
Aliphatic.
aliphatic compounds. They are cyclic compounds having the properties of aliphatic compounds. मतलब the ring can have a single, double or a triple bond. And this type of compounds are named by prefixing cyclo. So you have the simplest of the ring with 3 carbon atoms. And with 3 carbon, it will be having the properties of propane, hence the name cyclopropane. Similarly, if I have a 5-membered ring with a double bond, then it will be named as,
Cyclopentene.
because now it has the properties of alkene, that is why it is called cyclopentene. Then, under homocyclic, we have aromatic compounds wherein the carbon atoms are joined by alternate, single, and double bonds, which is also called conjugated system. And aromatic are further classified into benzenoid and non-benzenoid compounds. नाम से benzenoid are those which have the presence of
Benzene.
Benzene ring.
benzene ring in the structure, and non-benzenoid doesn't have the benzene ring in its structure. So these benzenoid compounds have the benzene in its structure, and the substituted benzenes are given some special names. जैसे OH on the ring is called phenol.
Phenol.
NH2 on the ring is called
Aniline.
aniline. OCH3 on the ring is called anisole. ठीक है, so ये कुछ नाम है of the examples of benzenoid compounds. Then heterocyclic are again classified into heteroalicyclic and heteroaromatic compounds. So heteroalicyclic में there will be carbon atom in the ring plus at least one non-carbon atom like nitrogen, oxygen, sulfur, phosphorus. And the example of that is PHF, What does this stand for?
Tetrahydrofuran.
Tetrahydrofuran.
Tetrahydrofuran. And one more example I had given, a six-membered ring with a nitrogen present as heteroatom called
Piperidine.
Pyridine.
piperidine. So THF and piperidine are heteroalicyclic compounds. अब उसी के सामने if I have the furan ring but with alternate single and double bonds, then this is just called
Furan.
furan. And इसी रिंग में अगर alternate double single bonds डाल दो तो piperidine changes to pyridine. क्लियर? यहाँ पे एलिसाइक्लिक में टेट्राहाइड्रोफ्यूरान एंड पिपेरिडीन, aromatic में उसी के कंपैरिजन में फ्यूरान एंड pyridine are the examples. So that's a simple classification of organic compounds in general. Clear?
Yes, sir.
So let's see the MCQs. The group of heterocyclic compounds is heterocyclic. What is phenol? Homo or hetero?
Homo.
Homo.
Homo, because the ring is consisting only of
Carbon
Carbon.
atoms.
कार्बन एटम्स. तो ऑब्वियसली फिनॉल जो है वो होमो अरोमेटिक में क्लासिफाई होगा. ठीक है, तो ये ऑप्शन रूल्ड आउट है. फ्यूरान एंड थायोफीन. Okay, furan we know is a 5-membered ring with alternate single double bonds and oxygen present. वैसे ही इसी रिंग में if I replace the oxygen by sulfur, then it's called thiopheene. Thio का मतलब ये होता है सल्फर, राइट? एंड इसी arrangement में if I have nitrogen atom present in the 5-membered ring, then it is called pyrrole. ये तीनों example important है. So furan and thiophene are already given. They are hetero-aromatic compounds, and in this arrangement, if sulfur is replaced by NH, it will be pyrrole. 3 very important examples. एक साथ लिख के रखो. Answer is option 2. Draw the structures alongside. How many lone pairs on oxygen?
2.
Sulfur,
2.
nitrogen.
1.
So this would be the complete structure with the lone pair. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, identify the compound which is homocyclic, aromatic, and unsaturated.
2.
It's basically homoaromatic which is asked, which is example of benzene. Tell me, first one would be classified as what?
Homocyclic and saturated.
Homocyclic and saturated. Is it alicyclic or aromatic?
Ali.
Alicyclic.
So you can call it as homoalicyclic. Third one,
Heterocyclic.
heterocyclic and alicyclic or aromatic?
Alicyclic.
So heteroalicyclic. Hetero because of the oxygen, alicyclic because of the carbon atoms joined by single bonds. And this would be simply the open chain, alicyclic, aliphatic compound. Fine.
Yes, sir.
लिखते जाओ, whatever I am writing, please write it in your notes as well. Next, which of the following is a primary alkyl halide? Now, to understand this, I'll just give you a brief overview about organic compounds. So organic compounds are simply called as the derivatives of hydrocarbons. Organic compounds are simply defined as derivatives of hydrocarbons. So if I consider an hydrocarbon alkane, it's represented with molecular formula CN H2N plus 2. Now derivative matlab removing one H and replacing by some other group. Now to assign an identity to organic compound, what is introduced?
Functional group.
Functional group. जैसे हमारी आइडेंटिटी हमारे सरनेम से होती है, organic compounds are identified by their functional group. So in a way, functional group is nothing but the surname of organic compound. Functional group is the surname of organic compound. So in this alkane, if I replace the hydrogen by the Fg, then I will get CnH2n plus 1 satisfied with the functional group. Now this CnH2n plus 1 is represented by letter
R.
R.
R and is called
Alkyl.
alkyl. So any organic compound can be represented as alkyl with a functional group. So organic compounds consist of two parts. One is a hydrocarbon chain, which is the alkyl group, and one is the identity or the surname, which is the functional group. Correct.
Yes, sir.
Now, alkyl group can be classified according to the type of carbon atom. So pehle to I am writing type of carbon in alkane, and then I will be deriving type of carbon in alkyl. So how many carbon atoms are present in alkane?
4.
Primary, secondary, tertiary, and quaternary. What is primary carbon in alkane? Identified as
CH3.
CH3.
CH3. Then
CH2.
CH, and the quaternary as C. Okay. Up from alkane to get alkyl, I have to
Remove one H.
remove one H. So primary carbon in alkyl would become
CH2.
CH2. And the hydrogen which is removed will be satisfied with
F3.
Functional group.
functional group. Secondary में it will be represented as CH with a functional group. खाली यहाँ से H निकालो, functional group लगाओ. Tertiary में it will be C with a functional group. And quaternary में possibly नहीं होगा because there is no H which can be removed. So when we come to organic compound and the alkyl group, there are how many types of carbon?
3.
3. They are primary, secondary and tertiary. तो आज के बाद जब हम ऑर्गेनिक कंपाउंड्स की बात करेंगे तो ऑलवेज रिमेंबर प्राइमरी मतलब प्राइमरी
CH2.
मींस CH2. प्राइमरी मतलब CH2. Secondary means
CH.
CH.
CH. Tertiary means
C.
E.
primary means CH2, secondary CH and tertiary C. ठीक है. उसी के साथ साथ I had also talked about prefixes which are assigned to the names of the alkyl groups. So primary के there are
3 prefixes.
3 prefixes which are
N-isoneo.
N-isoneo. And a simple way to distinguish between them is straight T and plus the appearance. Straight T and plus. Secondary के लिए the prefix is
Sec.
sec and tertiary
Tert.
tert. That's it. 5 prefixes use होते हैं alkyl group में. N-isoneo, sec, and tert in the order of primary, secondary, and tertiary. And there's only one exception to the naming of alkyl group. What is
Isopropyl.
that? Isopropyl. तो यहाँ पर जो CH3CH3 वाला group है, having the radical on the secondary, theoretically it is sec propyl, but exceptionally it was also given a name isopropyl, which is more commonly used. So sec propyl is same as isopropyl only in case of propyl. But the moment we move to 4 carbon wala alkyl, sec butyl and isobutyl are
Different.
different. So this gives you the overview about organic compounds ka introduction and the concept of alkyl groups with their prefixes. So to identify the type of the organic compound, whether it is primary, secondary, or tertiary, just look at the functional group and the type of carbon to which it is attached. So tell me, what is the first type?
Secondary.
Secondary. Now mind it, this is a condensed form. If I just open up, it will be CH bonded with Cl and CH3. So obviously the functional group is on CH. Matlab it's a secondary halide. Right? Next one.
Secondary.
Again, Cl is a functional group bonded on CH. That is why it's a secondary. Next,
Primary.
primary, and last,
Tertiary.
tertiary. So now it's easy to classify given a compound whether it is primary, secondary, or tertiary. Just याद रखो primary मतलब CH2, secondary मतलब CH, tertiary मतलब C. Just hammer this into your minds. Primary CH2, secondary CH, tertiary C. Primary मतलब CH2, CH2 मतलब primary. Secondary मतलब CH, CH मतलब secondary. Tertiary मतलब C मतलब tertiary.
So I have a
Fine.
doubt.
Yes.
That second tert is not for alkanes, right?
No. This is, when I say alkyl, it is a derivative of alkane only.
No, so like
Alkynes की
there's
यहाँ पर
nothing
बात
like
नहीं कर
sec
रहा हूँ.
butane, right?
You are talking about alkane का prefixes.
Yes, sir.
Alkane में only 3 prefixes are allowed, which is N, iso, and neo. Sec and tert are only for alkyl groups.
Okay, so got it.
कीन्स एंड काइंस के लिए ये प्रीफिक्स हम नहीं यूज करते, उसमें भी आइसो एंड न्यू आर वैलिड. क्लियर?
Yes, sir.
So the answer to this, which is a primary alkyl halide, is option 3. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
Next, this section covers IUPAC nomenclature of alkane. Now for naming the alkanes, there are simple 2 rules which I always say to apply. First rule,
Select the longest chain.
incorrect. Select the longest and
with the priority functional.
longest continuous chain. The continuous word बहुत important है, because if you are getting a chain of carbon which is linked to each other continuously and it is having max number of carbon, it will be the longest chain. Normally हम क्या करते हैं, straight chain दिखा वही longest chain. There are many students who just select the straight chain, but ऐसा जरूरी नहीं कि straight ही आएगा. It needs to be continuous and with max number of carbon atom. That would be the longest. So this longest continuous chain of carbon atom is called as the
Parent chain.
parent chain. Whatever is not included in the parent, they all become their
Substituent.
substituents. And next rule is to number the
Carbons.
carbons such that the substituents get the
Lowest number.
lowest possible number. So the second is lowest numbering rule. Khatam. तो पहला longest chain select कर लो and then number it and you will simply get the IUPAC name. So now looking at this particular arrangement, what is this arrangement called? What type of formula is this?
Bond line.
Zigzag.
Zigzag, लेकिन इसको नाम है bond line formula. Bond line formula. Now to convert the BLF into SF, simply क्या करना है? Whatever carbons you see in the straight chain, draw that. So आपको दिखेंगे 6 कार्बन. On the second carbon, what is this substituent?
Ethyl.
Ethyl.
Ethyl. 2 कार्बन है ना, so 1 and 2. And then fourth carbon पे there is single carbon which is methyl. Skeleton तैयार. अब body बनाने का. So body बनाना मतलब satisfy the valences of carbon with H. This carbon will be satisfied with 3H. Count the bonds. 4 में से minus करो. This is H, H2, H3. Count the bonds. 4 में से minus करो. Count the bonds. 4 में से minus करो. And you have the SF ready. So this is BLF converted to SF. ठीक है. फिर इसको हम condense भी कर सकते हैं, जिसको हम बोलते हैं condensed structural formula. So how do we write the one-liner formula for this? Yes.
CH3 CH bracket C2H5
Hmm.
CH2 CH bracket CH3 CH2 CH3.
That's it. आपको सिर्फ क्या करना है, जो substituents है उसको ब्रैकेट में लाकर इसके बाजू में लिख देना है. And simply you will get a single line formula without any bonds being shown. That is called the CSF, condensed structural formula. Okay, and just by looking at the formula, what will be the molecular formula of this?
C9H20.
So no need to count the hydrogen. Just by counting the carbons with 9, apply CnH2 and plus 2, you will get C9H20 as the molecular formula. So this part covers the 4 ways to represent an alkane, that is structural formula, condensed structural formula, the bond line formula and the molecular formula. अब उसी का IUPAC nomenclature करना है. So tell me how many carbons can be selected in the longest chain?
7.
So if you just look at the straight chain, this will be of 6. But if I start from this carbon and end at this carbon, I get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. That would be the longest chain. Now option में देखोगे तो 3 option hexane के दिए हुए हैं, which are ruled out. So answer तो simple है, option 3. ये हो गया shortcut. अब थोड़ा numbering के basis पे बात करते हैं. If I start the numbering from the left side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 and 7. The substituents are present on third and fifth carbon. And if I number from right side, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, again the substituents are placed on the third and fifth. तो जब equidistant हो और same locants या position मिल रहा है, कहीं से भी नंबर करो, फर्क नहीं पड़ेगा. सो पेरेंट हो गया हेप्टेन, ये हो गए उनके बच्चे, बच्चों का नाम है मिथाइल. सो यू विल गेट 3,5 dimethyl heptane as the IUPAC name. Any slightest doubt in this? Anyone? Speak up. Okay. Next, IUPAC name of. So how is this compound given? किस format में दिया है? CSF. So just open it and write in the form of SF. Help me with that.
C.
CH. CH3. CH bonded to CH.
CH bonded to
CH3.
CH, CH.
तो CH3 twice का मतलब 2 methyls are on CH, again CH, and then there are 2 methyls. It's a symmetrical structure, and the name will be
2,3 dimethyl butane.
2,3 dimethyl butane. Option. So condensed form जब भी दिया रहेगा, write it in the proper structural formula, then longest chain, and then numbering. You will get the correct IUPAC name. Next, IUPAC name of compound is, now apart from the carbon chain, you see chloro and bromo. Are they considered functional groups?
No.
No, because they are at the
Bottom of the priority order.
bottom of the priority order. और जो functional groups least priority के होते हैं, they are always considered as
Substituents.
substituents. मतलब जैसे अपना मिथाइल इथाइल रहता है, वैसे ही क्लोरो ब्रोमो नाइट्रो अल्कोक्सी, ये सारे लीस्ट प्रायोरिटी वाले ग्रुप्स रहते हैं. So in short, they will be considered as substituents only. So now, longest chain will be of how many carbons?
7.
7. And the numbering will be done from
Left.
if you number
Right.
from left, you are getting 2, 3, and 7 as the locants. And if you number from the right, you will be getting 1, 5, and 6 as the locants. Now, lowest numbering rule क्या बोलता है? Number the chain in such a way that the substituents get the lowest possible number. So the correct numbering is now if you look at the locants ka sum,
Second one.
if you look at the locants ka sum, it is coming out to be 12 only. But यहाँ पर the substituents are closer from the right side ka end. That is why the correct numbering will be from the right side. Also, अगर multiple substituents रहते हैं तो you have to arrange them in
Alphabetical
order. So there is bromo ka B, chloro ka C, and methyl ka M. And with the locants, the name will be 1 bromo, 6 chloro, 5 methyl, and the parent of 7 called heptane. That's option 4. Understood.
Yes.
Next, the correct structure of 6-ethyl, 2,3,5 trimethyl, no name is. We have to find a parent of 9 carbon with 4 substituents at 2, 3, 5, and 6. Yes.
1.
1. So if you start from this carbon, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, yeah, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, या 6, 7, 8, या 6, 7, 8. ये हो गया इस कार्बन से सारी possibilities. But if I start from this and go to the right, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. It gives me a longer chain of 9 carbon atom, which is now probably the longest chain. And with this longest chain, the numbering will be done from the right or from the left.
Right.
Right? Because the substituents are closer from the right side ka end. So it is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. अब जो पेरेंट में नहीं आते वो बच्चे, तो 6 पे इथाइल है, 5 पे 3 पे और 2 पे methyl है. So 2,3,5 trimethyl and 6 पे ethyl. Yes, this should be the correct answer. Understood.
Yes, sir.
Yes. Okay. Second में मुझे बताओ. Just I'm discussing the example. Second में which will be the parent chain?
Nine carbon.
Starting from where and ending at where?
Extreme left to right bottom.
Extreme left to right bottom. From here to here. And you will number this chain from left या right bottom.
Right.
Right? So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, and 9. And you have substituent as methyl. Which will be this substituent?
Propyl.
Propyl.
N-propyl.
N propyl. या 1 propyl लिख सकते हो IUPAC में. Fine. Next, longest chain.
Straight.
The straight one of 9 carbon is the longest. Next,
Straight.
again the straight. Okay. Now, if there are two possible longest chain of same number of carbon, यानी let's say 9 carbon, तो फिर कौन सा chain select करोगे? Two possible longest chain
Straight.
होगा तो, हाँ
Max
Straight.
substituent rule.
हाँ. So there you will be straight नहीं होता है भाई. If there are two longest chain of same carbon atoms, then you will select that chain which have max number of substituents. मान लो 7 कार्बन के चेन में 5 सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स आ रहे हैं और दूसरे में 7 में 4 आ रहे हैं, तो आपका करेक्ट chain will be that which is having more या max number of substituents. So there is max substituent rule which is to be applied. Next, the correct IUPAC name of the following compound is. What are the groups you observe? What is ET?
Ethyl.
Ethyl.
It's an abbreviation for ethyl group C2H5 या CH2CH3. Similarly, कहीं पे Me दिखा तो
Methyl.
मिथाइल. PR दिखा तो
Propyl.
प्रोपाइल. एंड PH दिखा तो
Phenyl.
फिनाइल. Benzene minus H is called phenyl. So these are important abbreviations which you should always remember for organic compounds. So here the groups which you see is fluoro, iodo, bromo, and nitro. What can you comment on their priorities?
All are least priority.
So if all are of least priority, then they are simply considered as
Substituents.
substituents, and you should number it such that they get the lowest possible number. कोई priority नहीं देखना है, खाली आपको lowest numbering rule follow करना है. So this ET can be written as CH2 and CH3. So tell me, longest chain कितने carbon का है?
4.
4. And numbering is done from
Left.
left side, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And now, fluoro, iodo, bromo, nitro, alphabetical order में bromo, fluoro, iodo, and nitro. With the locants, 2 bromo, 1 fluoro, 1 iodo, 2 nitro, and 4 carbon का parent is butane. Correct. Simple.
Yes, sir.
Next, coming to nomenclature of alkene and alkyne. So now, in case of alkene and alkyne, we have a functional group, that is double or a triple bond. So here the longest chain should be selected containing the longest chain should be selected containing
all
functional
enine
group,
groups.
the double or the triple bond in the chain. ठीक है, तो ध्यान रहे जब तक हम अल्केन्स की बात कर रहे थे, there is no functional group present. So here the longest chain is selected with just max number of carbon का atom का rule. But the moment you have a functional group present, the longest chain will be selected which contains, includes that functional group. Okay, so that is the simple modification. अब जब double and triple bond are placed together in the chain, those type of compounds are called enine compounds. And the IUPAC name for them is alk, ene, ine. And enine compounds के लिए naming के दो variations है. First, if you have a carbon chain with the double and triple bond placed like this, then the rule says the numbering should be done from that end such that the first multiple bond, whether double or triple doesn't matter, the first multiple bond gets the lowest possible number. So in this case, the numbering, correct numbering will be from
Right.
right. तो ध्यान रहे इनाइन कंपाउंड्स में फर्स्ट मल्टीपल बॉन्ड नजदीक कहां पर है, वहां से नंबरिंग होगा. सो इट विल बी नंबर्ड फ्रॉम राइट. यहाँ पे इन और आइन का प्रायोरिटी नहीं देखते हैं. लेकिन if you have the double and triple bond placed like this, so from both the ends they are getting the position 1, so there is a tie. Now in this case the tie is broken in the favor of
Double bond.
Priority.
double bond, because double has a priority higher than the triple bond. So the correct numbering will be from the right side only, that from the left side only, that is from double to triple. तो ये दो सिंपल रूल्स है इनाइन कंपाउंड्स के. दैट्स इट. गोइंग बैक टू द क्वेश्चन, select the structure with correct numbering in the chain. तो पहला वाला करेक्ट है कि नहीं?
Incorrect.
And what is the problem with the numbering?
It should start from the left.
Because there is a tie. Exactly यही example है. And the tie breaker is always in the favor of double bond and not triple bond. So correct numbering होगा left to right. Next में
Wrong.
wrong. Because in this case, the first multiple bond is nearer from the right side, and the correct numbering should be from the right and not from the left. Next, third one. This is a triene compound with 3 double bonds. Correct or incorrect?
Incorrect.
Why?
Because the middle CH can get a lower number.
Correct. अब अगर ये वाला नंबरिंग फॉलो करते हैं तो the locants or the positions of the double bonds are 1, 4 and 6. But if I number from the left end, then the locants or the positions which I get is 1, 3 and 6. Of course, this will not be the correct locant. This will be lowest numbering locants. तो ये भी incorrect है. आंसर हो गया 4 and 4th is correct because double and triple में प्रायोरिटी डबल को जाती है, तो लेफ्ट हैंड साइड से नंबरिंग करेक्ट है. Now let's also name this compound alkene. Now when there are 2 double bonds and 1 triple bond, this will change to
Dienine.
diene and ine. Diene for 2 double bonds, ine for a triple bond. And जब एक से ज्यादा होगा तो this alk word, the word root changes to alka. A is added, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
I hope you remember the rules. So with 7 carbon atom, the alka will be hepta. With 2 double bonds, it will be diene, and with 1 triple bond, it will be ine. And fill in the positions.
1, 3,
1, 3,
6.
and 6. हो गया nomenclature. Hepta 1, 3 diene, 6 ine. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Okay. Now, what is the molecular formula from the structure? Molecular formula. अरे भाई
C7H8.
कार्बन कितने हैं देखो, हाइड्रोजन कितने देखो, मिल जाएगा फॉर्मूला C7H8. अब मान लो अगर बहुत बड़ा चेन है, उसमें बॉन्ड लाइन फॉर्मूला दिया हुआ है, तो एक्चुअली आपको हाइड्रोजन्स काउंट करने की जरूरत नहीं है. मैंने एक सिंपल सा ट्रिक दिया था. द ट्रिक वाज just by looking at the number of carbon, write the formula of an alkane. So with 7 carbon, the alkane formula would be
H16.
H16. Then for every double bond present, there is a reduction of
2 hydrogen.
2 hydrogen. And for every triple bond,
4 hydrogen.
4 hydrogen. तो एक डबल बॉन्ड के लिए 2 H कम करो, तो पहला डबल बॉन्ड 14 हो जाएगा, दूसरा डबल बॉन्ड 12 हो जाएगा, और एक ट्रिपल बॉन्ड 8 हो जाएगा. Hence you get C7H8. मतलब मान लो यहाँ पर 1 2 3 4 5 7 बॉन्ड लाइन फॉर्मूला में दिया है विद डबल बॉन्ड हियर, here, and a triple bond here. This is the BLF of this compound. तो आपको H लिखने की जरूरत ही नहीं है, खाली कार्बन देखो, हाइड्रोजन अल्केन का लिखो, डबल के लिए 2H कम, डबल के लिए 2H कम, ट्रिपल के लिए 4H कम, मिल गया फॉर्मूला. तो BLF के टाइम पे ये बहुत यूजफुल है, एंड अ वेरी सिंपल ट्रिक. गॉट इट?
Yes, sir.
अब फ्रॉम दिस मॉलिक्यूलर फॉर्मूला यू कैन गेट वैरायटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस. जैसे हाउ मेनी CC सिग्मा बॉन्ड्स आर प्रेजेंट? Every 2 carbon atoms are joined by sigma
6.
bonds. So जितने कार्बन फॉर्मूला में है, one less will be the sigma bonds between carbon atoms. तो 2 है तो 1 सिग्मा होगा, 3 होगा तो 2 रहेंगे, 7 होगा तो 6 होगा डायरेक्ट. CH bonds will be equal to
8.
number of hydrogen itself, because all hydrogen are bonded to carbon only. तो जितने हाइड्रोजन उतने CH bonds. ये था ट्रिक. फिर डबल बॉन्ड कितने दिख रहे हैं,
2.
और ट्रिपल बॉन्ड
1.
1. तो टोटल सिग्मा बॉन्ड्स कितने,
14.
और पाई?
4.
डबल में देयर इज 1 पाई, सो 2 डबल में 2 पाई, और एक ट्रिपल में 2 पाई, 2 पाई 2 पाई 4 पाई, सो 4 पाई बॉन्ड्स. एंड द टोटल नंबर ऑफ सिग्मा एंड पाई इज इक्वल टू 18. समझा?
Yes, sir.
तो मैंने एक MCQ के साथ E9 का जितना भी वैरायटी ऑफ क्वेश्चंस है, आई एम जस्ट कवर्ड इन वन सम. The structure, the nomenclature rule, the IUPAC name, molecular formula, BLF, sigma and pi bonds का total. Any doubt here?
No, sir.
Next, the correct structure of 2-ethyl 3-methyl hexa 1,4-diene will be Look at the first one. It is hexa 1,4-diene and 2 पे there is ethyl, 4 पे there is methyl. और हमें चाहिए थर्ड पे. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 2 पे there is methyl and 3 पे there is ethyl. नहीं. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. 2 पे there is ethyl, 3 पे there is methyl. As expected, this is the answer. Clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
और यहाँ पे देखोगे तो 2 पे मिथाइल है और 4 पे इथाइल है. So I hope the bond line formula is clear to everyone. Yes?
Yes, sir.
Next. Ethoxyethene is written as follows. The structure of ethoxyethene is given. In fact, अगर ये नहीं भी दिया होता तो नाम से स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ करने का आसान तरीका. मुझे बताओ, to draw the structure of ethoxyethene, what should I draw first? पहले पेरेंट आया कि बच्चा?
Parent.
Which is the parent in the name?
Ether.
Parent. This is the ether का functional group. That is okay. But नाम में parent कौन है? Ethoxy है कि ethene है?
Ethene.
Always the suffix part is the parent, prefix part is the substituent. Prefix part बच्चा होता है और suffix part parent होता है. मतलब नाम से structure draw करने के लिए parent को पहले बनाओ. CH2 double bond CH2. Now ethoxyethene matlab one of the hydrogen is removed and is replaced by oxygen with ethyl, which is called ethoxy. This is what the structure is already given. अब पूछा है the structure of 2-chloro 1-ethoxyethene. Incorrect name है ये. With the correct numbering will be. अब नाम भले ही incorrect हो, from the name I can get the structure. 2-chloro 1-ethoxyethene matlab ethene was the parent. And if I number the carbons as 1 and 2, तो ये 1 पे आ गया मेरा ethoxy और 2 पे क्लोरो के लिए I will remove 1H and replace by Cl. This is नाम से structure. But इन्होंने बोला है कि ये वाला name incorrect है. Now can you tell me what is incorrect in the name? Yes, anyone? अच्छा, मुझे बताओ क्लोरो एंड इथॉक्सी, where are they at the priority?
Chloro is last.
And alkoxy? Is also at the last. Halo, alkoxy and nitro are the least priority groups. मतलब क्लोरो एंड इथॉक्सी बोथ आर द सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स. अब दोनों अगर सब्स्टिट्यूएंट है तो यू हैव टू सी द नंबरिंग. बट दो ही कार्बन है तो आइदर वेज 1 and 2 ही मिलेगा. तो आई कैन से दे आर इक्विडिस्टेंट. अब जब इक्विडिस्टेंट हो यानी दोनों तरफ से सेम नंबरिंग आ रहा हो तो the group which comes in the alphabetical order first should also get the first number यानी lowest number. यानी दो कार्बन में आइदर वेज 1 and 2 ही मिलने वाला है. तो 1 किसको मिलेगा और 2 किसको मिलेगा, दैट विल बी डिसाइडेड बाय.
Alphabetical order.
सो करेक्ट नंबरिंग होना चाहिए था 1 क्लोरो एंड 2 इथॉक्सी इथीन. दैट्स ऑप्शन 4. इज दिस क्वेश्चन अंडरस्टूड?
Yes, sir.
गलत नाम से भी हम स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ कर सकते हैं. हो सकता है जो नाम दिया है वो रूल्स के हिसाब से गलत है. अंडरस्टैंड दिस सम. गलत नेम से we can draw the structure, that's not a problem, but then we can correct the nomenclature by looking and drawing at the drawing the structure. So that is what this example was based on. Fine.
So in ether, who is the parent and who is the substituent?
See, if I have a normal ether, जैसे CH3, CH2O, CH3, then ethers in IUPAC are named as alkoxyalkane, where oxygen के आजू बाजू, if there are different number of carbon atom, then tell me who will be the parent?
More carbons.
Bas. So the more carbon becomes the parent, this is ethane, and the lesser carbon will become total alkoxy. What will be the name?
Methoxyethane.
That is the name. Methoxyethane. समझा?
Yes, sir.
एक और एग्जांपल देता हूँ. CH3, CH2, CH, CH3, O, C2H5. Sorry. Yes. बोलो.
ethoxymethyl propane.
Ethoxymethyl propane गलत. Now here comes the rule of longest continuous chain. Why did you select only 3 carbon chain? Isn't the 4th carbon continuous?
2-ethoxybutane.
That is correct. 2-ethoxybutane. Jay.
Yes, sir.
So here longest continuous का मतलब अब इस example से clear होना चाहिए. While selecting the longest chain 1, 2 and 3, I can select the 4th carbon also because it is longest and continuous. And the numbering will be done such that the substituent, this substituent gets the lowest possible number. So on the second carbon, there is ethoxy, and the parent is a 4 carbon, not 3 carbon. So it is 2-ethoxybutane. Understood?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है. तो लॉन्गेस्ट कंटिन्यूअस मतलब अगर इस कार्बन के साथ ये भी आप कंटिन्यूअस चेन में सेलेक्ट कर सकते हो, तो दैट विल बिकम द पेरेंट. यू कांट ब्रेक एट द 3 कार्बन्स, राइट? Next, which IUPAC name is incorrect? First one. Is it 2,3-diethyl butene?
Incorrect.
Incorrect. Because the correct name would be
2,3-dimethylbutene.
2,3-dimethyl butene. Okay, so बाकी options correct है. Let's have a look in the second option. Now second में there is a triple and 2 double bonds. Now don't look at the name. Tell me the longest chain either ways is of 5 carbon. But will the longest chain be selected of triple and double wala या 2 double bonds wala chain?
2 double bonds.
2 double bonds. Because
Double
reason?
bond gets the priority.
Yes. Double bond gets a priority. काफी अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है ये. अगर आपका longest chain same number of carbon का आ रहा है, and in one chain there is triple and double, and in another there is a combination of 2 double bonds, then the selection will be of 2 double bonds because double की priority triple से ज्यादा है, यानी triple बनेगा यहाँ पर substituent. अब ऐसे substituent का नाम कैसे देते हैं? This is a substituent derived from the simplest of the alkyne, which is
Ethyne.
Ethyne. तो जब आप एक H निकाल देते हो तो द रूल इज E उड़ाओ एंड
I'll.
नहीं YL लगाओ. आइल बोला क्या?
Yes, sir.
हाँ. तो E उड़ाओ YL लगाओ. जैसे हम अल्केन में एन उड़ा के YL लगाते हैं, मीथेन का मीथाइल बनता है, वैसे इथाइन का इथाइनाइल बनेगा. सिमिलरली अगर हमारे पास इथीन ग्रुप है और इसका एक H उड़ा दूं तो दिस विल बी कॉल्ड
Ethynyl.
इथीन. E उड़ाओ YL लगाओ. अच्छा, this ethynyl is commonly also given one very special and important name,
Vinyl.
vinyl. Ethynyl is same as vinyl, but vinyl is the common name and IUPAC में यूज करना है तो ethynyl यूज करेंगे. समझा? So now look at the name. On the third carbon you have ethynyl. 5 carbon is penta. 2 double bonds at 1 and 4 will be 1,4-diene. Next में correct numbering will be from
Right.
right. Double gets a priority, so it will be 1 pe in and 3 pe ein. And next में
Right.
right, because first multiple bond should get the lowest number, so 3 pe in and 1 pe ein. These all names are correct. Got it?
Yes, sir.
MCQ के बाजू में ये लिखो, लिखते जाओ. जो जो लिख रहा हूं मैं प्लीज आप अपने नोट्स में इंक्लूड कर लो अभी के अभी. Be active in the session. Whatever I am giving you related with the MCQ, write it for your reference. It will be easier for you to recollect. Next, which of the following name is wrong for the given compound? Now, if I just break down the compound, first part, CH2 double bond CH is called
Ethynyl.
ethynyl or vinyl. Vinyl के आगे when there is a single bonded carbon, it's called allyl group. Vinyl के आगे if there is a single bonded carbon, it's called an allyl group. And allyl के साथ you have a chlorine, hence it is called allyl chloride. ये हो गया इसका common name. Okay. अब in this longest chain, the numbering will be done from the double bond side or from chloro side.
Double bond.
Why?
Higher in the priority group.
Higher in the priority. So यहाँ पे numbering होगा 1, 2 and 3. So this becomes a substituent and hence the name 3-chloro-prop-1-ene. Okay, so which is the wrong name?
Second.
Second, because in that case the numbering is done from the chloro
Right.
side, from the right, and 3-chloropropylene is same as 3-chloropropene. So ये भी एक correct name है. Next section covers the nomenclature of LE cyclic compounds. So now question is, in which of the following side chain or acyclic chain is the main chain? Cyclo group में in the cyclic ring, whatever is attached, they are called side chain. तो फर्स्ट के लिए ये दोनों इसके साइड चेन है. अब पूछा है कि कौन से ऑप्शंस में साइड चेन मेन चेन है. Now main chain should have more number of carbon atom. So in the first option, the cyclic is having 5 carbon and the side chain is having 3 and 2 carbon which are lesser than that. So obviously यहाँ पे main chain होगा आपका cyclic ring, not the side chain. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Next में the cyclic ring is having how many carbon?
5.
5.
5. And the acyclic is having
5.
5. 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. अब जब cyclic and acyclic में clash हो जाता है, there is a tie between the carbon atom, then the cyclic gets a priority. Rule लिखो. Priority is given to cyclic ring when there is a tie between carbon atoms in cyclic and acyclic. So here the priority is given to the cyclic ring, and cyclic would be the main chain. Next में ring is having
5.
5 and the acyclic chain
5.
5. अब यहाँ पर दोनों में 5 है,
6.
लेकिन 6 is the total number of carbon atoms. जब आप IUPAC में बात करते हो तो हम हमेशा longest continuous chain की बात करते हैं. So this continuous chain will be of 5 carbon, and here also the continuous chain is only of 5. The other will be the substituents. So now can I say there are two longest chain of 5 carbons, but on the cyclic there is only one substituent. ये पूरा एक substituent कहलाएगा, yes or no?
Yes, sir.
And in the acyclic chain, if I number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, then this and this will be considered as
Substitute.
substituent. तो यहाँ पर use होगा अपना maximum substituents rule. Correct?
Yes, sir.
So in the on the cyclic ring there is one substituent, but in the acyclic there are two substituents. So when there is a clash between the carbons and substituents भी अगर same है तो priority ring को दो, लेकिन अगर दोनों में carbon same है substituents अलग है तो obviously you have to identify with respect to maximum substituents rule. So in this case the answer will be option 3 because acyclic is the main chain in this case. Clear? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
Next, in which of the following cyclic chain is the main chain? Now, if you have a functional group, then you don't look at the number of carbons. You will select the chain which contains the functional group and not the chain which is having more carbon atoms. ये रूल मैंने ऑलरेडी अल्किन अल्काइन के टाइम पे बताया था, right?
Yes, sir.
So in the first option, the main chain is of
2 carbon.
2 carbons, and it is the acyclic or the side chain becoming the main chain because of the double bond. नेक्स्ट में डबल बॉन्ड अंदर भी है और बाहर भी है, तो प्रायोरिटी विल बी गिवन टू
Cyclic.
the number of carbon atom. That is why the cyclic becomes the main chain. Next,
Straight chain.
straight chain because there are two double bonds. And last में the acyclic, again presence of double bond. So एक ही option में the cyclic becomes the main chain, and that's why the answer is 2. Now let's also IUPAC name this. Numbering will be done from
Connecting one.
connecting double bonds. So this will be 1. Should I go anti-clockwise or clockwise?
Clockwise.
Obviously clockwise because 1 के बाद this is a double bond at the second and third, fourth, fifth and sixth. Now what is this substituent called?
Ethynyl.
So 1 ethynyl cyclo X 1 ene will be the next. IUPAC name for the group. So how many carbon in the cyclic?
4.
4,
Acyclic.
4,
Priority goes to
cyclo,
Cyclic.
cyclic. So this becomes a
substitute,
now common name में अगर if I ask you the name of this alkyl group,
Sec
what is the name?
butyl.
It is sec butyl. ठीक है, अल्काइल ग्रुप को नेम करने के लिए या आइडेंटिफाई करने के लिए मैंने आपको बोला था क्वेश्चंस पूछो अपने आप से. फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू बी आस्क्ड इज वेयर इज द
radical located,
रेडिकल लोकेटेड. तो जब आप पूछोगे तो आपको आंसर मिल सकता है प्राइमरी, सेकेंडरी या टर्शरी. If you get the answer as primary, then further ask whether it is straight T or plus, meaning N iso या nu. Secondary है तो sec लगाओ, tertiary है तो tert लगाओ. फिर सेकंड क्वेश्चन गब्बर का पूछने का, कितने कार्बन है? How many carbon atoms are there? ठीक है. So where is the radical if you ask? What is the answer you get?
secondary,
Secondary, so you get sec. दूसरा क्वेश्चन, how many carbons are there?
4,
4. तो पूछोगे तो आंसर मिलेगा. दिस इज हाउ यू हैव टू आस्क. सो इट इज सेक ब्यूटाइल. नाउ ये जो अल्काइल ग्रुप्स हैं इनका भी आईयूपीएसी नेम किया था एंड उसके लिए सिंपल दो रूल्स दिया था. सिलेक्ट द लॉन्गेस्ट चेन स्टार्टिंग फ्रॉम
The radical.
carbon which has
कार्बन विच हैज रेडिकल. select the longest chain from the radical, number the chain from the radical. मतलब लॉन्गेस्ट चेन एंड नंबरिंग रेडिकल से ही करना है, बाकी कोई रूल अप्लाई नहीं करना. इधर रेडिकल है तो वो फर्स्ट कार्बन, यहाँ सेकेंड, यहाँ थर्ड. So this becomes a substituent called
1 methyl,
1-methyl and then parent of 3 would be propyl. ये हो गया sec butyl का IUPAC name. Clear?
yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So the answer is 1-methyl propyl and cyclobutane as the parent chain. Fine. Next, the correct IUPAC name of the compound given. Which will be the parent, cyclic or acyclic?
Cyclic,
Cyclic. And the two double bonds will be getting the lowest possible number. So it will be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. आपको एंटी क्लॉकवाइज में ही जाना पड़ेगा. क्लॉकवाइज में जाओगे तो दिस विल नॉट गेट द लोएस्ट नंबर. अंडरस्टूड? So this will be named as 5-ethynyl cyclohexa 1,3 diene. That is option 2. Now comes the important section, the IUPAC nomenclature of polyfunctional compounds. So polyfunctional compounds are those which have more than one functional group. तो अगर multiple functional groups होंगे तो only one will become the parent functional
Parent.
group and rest all will be considered as their
Substituents.
substituents. So जो the main functional group आता है, we assign a suffix to the compound and बाकी सारे compounds which become their substituents are assigned the
prefix,
prefix. तो मैंने IUPAC nomenclature कोई भी कंपाउंड के लिए एक जनरल फॉर्मेट दिया था जिसको मैं ब्रह्मास्त्र बोलता हूँ, which you can apply for any given compound. What was the format?
2-degree prefix, 1-degree prefix, word root, 1-degree suffix, 2-degree suffix.
Perfect. Simple. Word root is indicating the parent chain. उसके पहले we have prefixes, उसके बाद we have suffixes. Now this 2-degree prefix includes the names of all the
substituents.
substituents. तो जितने भी बच्चे हैं जो parent में include नहीं हुए हैं, they all will be named first, followed by
Cyclo.
Cyclo.
cyclo. If there is a cyclic ring, then this prefix will be applicable, else it will be ruled out. Word root indicates the number of carbon in the
Parent.
Parent chain.
parent or main chain, which contains the functional group. Suffix indicates the presence of
E9.
E9, that is multiple bonds. And 2-degree suffix indicates
Main functional group.
main functional group of the highest priority. That's it. अगर ये पांचों को merge कर दोगे in the order, then you will get the IUPAC name. और एक एग्जांपल जो मैं हमेशा normally देता हूँ is, let's say I have a cyclo compound with double bond O, double bond here, OH here, and let's say CH3 here. So, to name the polyfunctional compound, there are set of questions which we have to ask. Pehla question, how many functional groups are there?
4.
5.
5 functional groups. How?
The cyclic ring is the 5th.
No, that is not a functional group. When I ask functional group, it is ketone double bond, 3 double bond O, alkene and OH as the alcohol. बाकी सारे तो substituents है ना, low priority वाले. समझा? जो प्रीफिक्सेस में आते हैं उनको फंक्शनल ग्रुप नहीं बोलते हैं, जो सफिक्सेस में आते हैं दे आर द फंक्शनल ग्रुप. अंडरस्टूड?
अच्छा.
So ketone, alkene and alcohol. Now out of ketone, alkene and alcohol, the highest priority goes to
Ketone.
ketone. I'll just discuss the priority order also in the next slide. But ketone का priority ज़्यादा है, so this gets a position 1. Then you will move clockwise 2, 3, 4, 5 and 6. So whatever is not included in the parent, they become their bachas, substituent. And what is the name of OH as a substituent?
Hydroxy.
Hydroxy. And the other one is
Methyl.
methyl. Now look at the format which I have given. So substituent hydroxy and methyl will be written in the alphabetical order. So this becomes the 2-degree prefix 5-hydroxy and 4-methyl. Then the presence of cyclic ring will give you the primary prefix as cyclo. The total numbers in the parent chain gives you the parent chain ka word root, which is hex. Then there is a multiple bond present in the ring, which is double bond, तो उसके लिए ene आएगा. And ketone as the main functional group has a suffix which is -one. Now fill in the positions, that is 2 pe ene and 1 pe -one. You get a complete IUPAC name as per this format. Understood?
So,
Hmm.
why can't we number anti-clockwise?
If you number anti-clockwise, you will get the hydroxy at the 3rd and the alkene at the 4th and 5th. Sorry, 5th and 6th carbon. Barabar? Now, alkene or a double bond is a part of the chain. Part of the chain मतलब वहां पे नंबरिंग हो रहा है, इसीलिए आपको डबल बॉन्ड का नंबर लोवेस्ट रखना पड़ेगा एंड हाइड्रोक्सी विल बी अ सब्स्टिट्यूएंट इन दैट केस. यहाँ पर आप प्रायोरिटी नहीं देखोगे. वंस यू आइडेंटिफाई योर मेन फंक्शनल ग्रुप, द प्रायोरिटी थिंग इज गॉन. अब अगर डबल बॉन्ड और OH में आपको नंबरिंग सोचना है, तो सिंस डबल बॉन्ड इज अ पार्ट ऑफ द चेन हैविंग द नंबर्स, so you have to consider the double bond का lowest number here. Understood?
Yes, sir.
और एक एग्जांपल है ऐसा, मैं आगे बताता हूँ. So this is the priority order which I have given in the same format. ये मैंने नोट्स में भी दिया है, मैं बताऊंगा आपको कहाँ से क्या रेफर करना है. Have a look at this. The highest priority goes to carboxylic acid, followed by sulfonic acid, and then the ester group. तो रो वाइज मैंने आपको बोला है, याद रखो, acid, sulfonic acid, ester. Then the second row is to be remembered as CAN. What does CAN stand for? Huh?
Acyl chloride.
Acyl chloride,
Amide.
amide,
Nitrile.
nitrile. Acyl chloride, COCl, amide is CONH2, and cyano or cyanide is nitrile CN. Then you have AK47, that is aldehyde and ketone. Then you have double A, alcohol and amine. Then again you have double A, alkene and alkyne. And then the least priority groups, जो मैंने already पहले बोला है, that is halo, nitro, alkoxy and alkyl. तो जो least priority पे है, they are all the substituents, meaning they don't have the suffix, they only have the
prefix.
प्रीफिक्स. यानी हैलो कंपाउंड में कभी भी आपको सफिक्स नहीं देखने मिलेगा. इट विल बी नेम्ड एज हैलो अल्केन और अ नाइट्रो अल्केन और एन अल्कोक्सी अल्केन, जैसे ईथर का बताया मैंने, राइट? समझा?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
ग्रेट. लेट्स स्टार्ट विद IUPAC नॉमेनक्लेचर ऑफ द फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स. यहाँ पर 5 ग्रुप्स इंक्लूड किए गए हैं. SO3H, कार्बोनाइल कीटोन, OH हाइड्रोक्सी, NH2 अमाइन एंड OR. अब इसके सफिक्स और प्रीफिक्स. तो सिंपल लैंग्वेज में, जैसे हमारे भी दो नाम होते हैं, एक मेन नेम और एक घर का नाम, पेट नेम, वैसे ही हमारे फंक्शनल ग्रुप्स के भी दो नाम होते हैं. जब वो मेन फंक्शनल ग्रुप होगा तो सफिक्स लिखना होता है, और जब वो सब्स्टिट्यूएंट रहेगा तो उसको पेट नेम लिखना होता है. ठीक है? दैट एज सिंपल एज दैट. So if the sulfonic acid is present in the main chain and it is a main functional group, it is named as, suffix is
Sulfonic acid.
sulfonic acid, and as a prefix,
Same thing.
same thing. अब shortly कहीं बार आप देखोगे कि सल्फो वर्ड भी यूज किया है. तो सल्फो वर्ड जहां यूज किया है, then you should clearly understand that it relates to the prefix of sulfonic acid. Next, for ketone the suffix is
One.
on and the prefix is
Oxo.
oxo. OH,
All.
all, and pet name
Hydroxo.
हाइड्रोक्सो नहीं, वो तो कोऑर्डिनेशन में आता है एज अ लिगेंड. हाइड्रोक्सी. NH2
Amine.
amine, amine, and prefix will be
Amino.
amino.
Two.
OR सफिक्स.
Alkoxy.
सफिक्स होगा कि प्रीफिक्स होगा? What I said, the groups which are at the least priority only have the
Prefix.
and not the.
Suffix.
Suffix.
तो यहाँ पर OR में कोई भी सफिक्स नहीं आता है. It is only the prefix, that is alkoxy. This is how I had given the entire table for the various functional groups. Fine. अब पॉलीफंक्शनल कंपाउंड को नेम करने के लिए जो सेट ऑफ रूल्स मैं बता रहा हूं, फॉलो करो उसको. चाहिए तो लिख लो इसके बाजू में. पहली चीज, आइडेंटिफाई ऑल. लिखते जाओ, आइडेंटिफाई ऑल functional groups. Then check the priority. Once you identify the priority, identify the correct longest chain, and then जो भी longest chain में नहीं आए वो उनके substituents, and last is apply the format, apply IUPAC format, the ब्रह्मास्त्र. बस ये 5 स्टेप्स अगर फॉलो किए, आप कोई भी कंपाउंड उठा लो, अगर आपको रूल्स प्रॉपरली पता है, योर IUPAC नेम विल नेवर एवर गो रॉन्ग. ठीक है? बोलो.
Yes, sir.
Okay, so let's start with the application. First one, all functional groups कितने हैं?
3.
3. Name them. जैसे सर्कल करता हूँ नेम करो.
Sulfonic acid,
हम्म
ketone,
हम्म
ene,
इन.
alkene.
Sulfonic acid, ketone and alkene. Check the priority, and the priority goes to
Sulfonic acid.
sulfonic acid. Next, longest continuous chain will be of
8.
each carbon. So your longest chain which is continuous will start from this. अब बहुत बार क्या होता है, फंक्शनल ग्रुप यहाँ लगा हुआ है, तो मेनी ऑफ यू विल स्टार्ट द नंबरिंग फ्रॉम दिस कार्बन विच इज रॉन्ग. कंटिन्यूस का मतलब क्या, ये देखो ये कार्बन कंटिन्यूस में आ रहा है ना, तो इधर से करना पड़ेगा 1 2 3 4 5 6 7. अब हियर आई एम गेटिंग 8 9 कार्बन चेन, और यहाँ पे 8 मिल रहा है. कहाँ जाओ, 8 की तरफ या 9 की तरफ? कौन सा रास्ता सही?
Alkene must be in the longest chain.
Very good. Alkene should be a part of the longest chain, irrespective of whether you are getting the longest or max number of carbon atoms or not. Alkene should be a part of the chain because उसको number होता है, इसलिए यहाँ पर 8 कार्बन पेरेंट हो जाएगा. अब जो नहीं आया वो substituent. So on the 7th carbon you have
Ethyl.
Ethyl.
ethyl, and 5th carbon पे जो ketone substituent है, it will be called.
Oxo.
So 7 ethyl and 5 oxo. Parent is of 8 carbon. Then 7 पे ene है और 2 पे sulfonic acid है. Answer is option 2. Is this clear?
Yes, sir.
कोई भी डाउट? अरे हाँ ना तो बोल सकते हो.
No, sir.
Next, the correct structure of 6 amino 4 hydroxy cyclohex 2 ene 1 sulfonic acid is. Now don't look at the options for such type of question जहाँ पे नाम से स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ करना है. तो नाम से स्ट्रक्चर ड्रॉ करने के टाइम पे हमेशा स्टार्ट विद द, पहले कौन आया?
Parent.
पेरेंट. ठीक है, तो विच इज द पेरेंट फ्रॉम द नेम?
Hexane.
हेक्स. दैट इज द वर्ड रूट. एंड उसके पहले साइक्लो इंडिकेट्स दैट वी हैव अ साइक्लिक रिंग ऑफ 6 कार्बन एज द पेरेंट. पहले पेरेंट बनाया, फिर उसको रैंडमली नंबर दे दो 1 to 6. अब फिल इन द पोजीशंस यानी सब्स्टिट्यूएंट्स. तो साइक्लोहेक्स 2 इन मतलब 2 and 3 पे डबल बॉन्ड, 1 सल्फोनिक एसिड यानी 1 पे SO3H, 4 हाइड्रोक्सी मतलब OH एट द 4th कार्बन, एंड 6 अमाइनो मतलब NH2 एट द 6th. खत्म. नाम से स्ट्रक्चर बनाना सबसे आसान पार्ट है ऑर्गेनिक का, क्योंकि सब कुछ तो दिया हुआ है. साइक्लोहेक्स बनाओ, 2 पे इन रखो, 1 पे SO3H रखो, 4 पे हाइड्रोक्सी, 6 पे अमाइनो, खत्म। अब मैच करो चारों ऑप्शन में से, विच इज करेक्ट?
Second.
सेकंड इज द आंसर, खत्म। This is a good question. The correct IUPAC name of the compound. 5-step procedure. First, बोलो। फर्स्ट स्टेप क्या है? रिपीट।
Functional group.
कितने हैं?
3.
3. Name as I circle.
Hydroxy, ketone, alkene.
Next.
Priority.
And the priority goes to
Ketone.
ketone. Then third. Longest chain कितने कार्बन का? So if I start from this carbon 1, 2, 3, I can go over here 4 and 5, or from 3 I can go 4 and 5 or 4 and 5. Which will be the correct numbering? किया है ना इस एग्जाम्पल?
Containing double bond.
Containing double bond. Because if double bond is a part of a chain which is numbered, it will always be included in the parent, rest all will become the substituent. यहाँ पर priority check नहीं करना है। एक बार आपने बोला कीटोन की प्रायोरिटी ज्यादा है, फिर OH और अल्किन आप सेम लेवल पे देखो। और क्योंकि अल्किन पेरेंट के चेन में आता है और नंबर होता है, इसीलिए उसको हम पेरेंट में इंक्लूड करेंगे। काफी अच्छा एग्जाम्पल है ये, 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. So now on the fourth carbon, I have a substituent called
Methyl.
methyl. And on the third carbon, this entire is one substituent. जिसमें the parent is of 2 carbons. And on the first carbon, there is a
Alcohol,
substituent name.
Hydroxy.
hydroxy,
So this particular substituent would be called 1-hydroxy ethyl. समझा? Yes or no?
Yes, sir.
So third pay we have 1-hydroxy ethyl as a single substituent, which is written in the bracket. Bracket is important because ये 1 जब वापस ब्रैकेट में लिखेंगे तो ये 1 कौन सा है? Is it this one of the parent chain?
No.
No. That is why यहाँ पर ब्रैकेट में लिखा, मतलब ये थर्ड कार्बन पे 2 कार्बन का चेन है जिसके फर्स्ट पे हाइड्रोक्सी है. That is how you read. So 3 पे 1-hydroxy methyl, 4 methyl, नहीं 4 methyl and pent 4 into. हाँ, the answer will be option 2. Understood?
Yes, sir.
Next, IUPAC name of the compound given is. Observation. Is it polyfunctional or a simple single functional group compound?
single,
Single. And which is the functional group?
amine,
Amine. And it's a secondary amine. Amine में NH2 is a primary amine. NH with 2 alkyl group is secondary. And N with 3 alkyl groups will be tertiary. तो ये secondary amine है. अब इसका nomenclature के लिए just for time being methyl को उड़ाकर replace it by H. What do you observe now?
Primary amine.
Primary amine. Now in this primary amine, the longest chain is of how many carbons?
5.
Sorry,
5.
5. And the numbering will be done from the NH wala side. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. इस केस में the name would have been 4-पे methyl. Parent of 5 would be pent with single bond in, and then the suffix is amine at the second carbon. This would be the name for the primary amine. But now in the actual structure, there is a methyl attached on the nitrogen atom. So for that, we will write N-methyl, indicating that this methyl is on nitrogen atom. अब देखो इससे क्लियर होता है कि नाइट्रोजन पे एक मिथाइल है और पेरेंट चेन के 4th कार्बन पे दूसरा मिथाइल है। अगर ये N नहीं लिखा होता तो फिर ये डिफरेंशिएट नहीं कर पाते। आता है समझ में?
Yes, sir.
अच्छा, this particular name could also be written as N,4 dimethyl, indicating 2 methyl, 1 on nitrogen and 1 on 4th carbon of the parent chain. This would also be the valid name. लिख लो alternate name. Next, which of the following represents a neopentyl alcohol?
Two. 3-methyl butanol.
No, I want the common name.
Isopentyl alcohol.
वेरी गुड, आइसोपेंटाइल अल्कोहल। तो 3 क्वेश्चन अपने आप से पूछना है अल्काइल के नेम के लिए। अल्काइल के लिए 2 क्वेश्चन और तीसरा क्वेश्चन फंक्शनल ग्रुप का। व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू बी आस्क्ड? पूछो तो आंसर मिलेगा। व्हाट इज द फर्स्ट क्वेश्चन टू बी आस्क्ड?
How many functional groups?
नहीं नहीं नहीं, दिस इज नॉट पॉलीफंक्शनल कंपाउंड। वो सेट ऑफ क्वेश्चंस अलग है। अल्काइल के लिए
Which degree carbon?
ये वाले 2 क्वेश्चन, वेयर इज द रेडिकल, हाउ मेनी कार्बन, ये अल्काइल के लिए पूछोगे, राइट? यस और नो?
Yes, sir.
ठीक है, करेक्ट क्वेश्चन करेक्ट जगह पे पूछना है। पूछो, वेयर इज द रेडिकल?
1
आंसर
degree.
भी मैं ही करूं?
1 degree.
1 डिग्री कार्बन। फिर और एक क्वेश्चन पूछो, इज इट टी प्लस और एस्टेट?
T.
T.
सो आंसर मिलेगा आपको अंतरात्मा से। क्या मिला?
Iso.
आइजो। फिर आता है गब्बर का क्वेश्चन,
कितने
5 carbon.
कितने कार्बन है? 5, यानी पेंटाइल। और फंक्शनल ग्रुप है OH, hence we get isopentyl alcohol. ठीक है, थर्ड वन बोलो।
N-butyl alcohol.
Straight chain of 4 and butyl alcohol. Fourth one,
Sec butyl alcohol.
sec butyl alcohol. इतना टाइम नहीं लगना चाहिए. You should be very confident about speaking the answer. Where is the functional group or where is the radical? पूछो।
Second
क्या
carbon.
मिला? सेकेंडरी तो sec. कितने कार्बन है? 4, तो ब्यूटाइल। कौन सा फंक्शनल ग्रुप है? OH, तो अल्कोहल। मिलता है कि नहीं?
Yes, sir.
Last one. The IUPAC name of acetyl acetone is. अब पहले तो नाम से स्ट्रक्चर बनाना पड़ेगा और उसके बाद IUPAC नेम लिखना पड़ेगा। बस नाम से स्ट्रक्चर बनाने के लिए हमेशा who comes first?
Parent.
Parent. Who is the parent in the name?
Acetone.
And what is acetone?
Propanone.
Propanone. The simplest of the ketone with aju-baju two methyl groups. This is acetone, a commercially important ketone. Now, acetyl acetone मतलब एक H उड़ाओ और acetyl group लगाओ. What is acetyl?
CH2, CH3.
CH2, CH3. How this is acetyl, bhai? This is ethyl.
One more CH2.
That would become propyl. Acha, tell me, what was this compound called?
Carbonate chloride.
हाँ?
Acyl chloride.
असाइल क्लोराइड. तो असाइल वाला नाम जो है ना वो RCO ग्रुप को लगता है. और ये असाइल के नेम के लिए मैंने बताया था फिंगर टिप्स पे 5 उंगली पे एक कार्बन होगा तो फॉर्म, 2 होगा तो एसिड, 3 होगा तो
Propion.
प्रोपियन, 4 होगा तो
Buter.
ब्यूटर, 5 होगा तो
Valor.
वेलर. एक्सलेंट. तो जो भी कार्बोनाइल वाले ग्रुप्स हैं उनमें इस टाइप के नोमेनक्लेचर कॉमन नेम में होता है. तो फॉर्म मतलब एक कार्बन यानी R विल बी इक्वल टू टोटल
1.
एक ही कार्बन होगा तो R विल बी इक्वल टू
0.
हाँ R विल बी इक्वल टू 0 मतलब इंस्टेड ऑफ कार्बन यू विल हैव अ
H.
नहीं कार्बन एक भी नहीं होगा. तो R इक्वल टू H इज फॉर्म प्लस YL फॉर्माइल क्लोराइड. देन R को रखो मिथाइल ग्रुप तो इट विल बिकम बोलो. अरे भाई R की जगह CH3 रखा तो इसका नाम क्या होगा?
Methyl chloride.
मिथाइल नहीं होगा, एसिटाइल
Acetyl.
हो
Sorry,
जाएगा.
sorry, sorry.
अच्छा मिथाइल क्लोराइड मतलब ये होता है ना
Yes.
वर्सेस CH3COCl won't be methyl chloride. This is acetyl chloride. Understood?
Just that YL stands for C double bond.
Yes. And the prefixes are the names which are derived from the carboxylic acids. अब इसका हिस्ट्री जो है वो एसिड्स में बताऊंगा लेकिन अभी फिलहाल के लिए फिंगर टिप्स पे 5 याद रखने का. फॉर्म, एसिड, प्रोपियन, ब्यूटर, वेलर. मतलब इसकी जगह जब H होगा इट इज फॉर्म रिलेटेड नेम. देन मिथाइल इट इज acid related name. Then ethyl will be propion related name. Propyl will be buter name. And valor will be butyl related name. Clear hai?
Yes, sir.
So now tell me what is acetyl group which will be attached here?
C double bond O CH3.
C double bond O CH3. Okay, please make a note of this. I'll send the PPT. Please copy relevant to the MCQ जो भी चीज उसको समझने के लिए लगती है. Please make a note of that alongside. It will help you a lot. Okay, now looking at the structure, tell me the name. Symmetrical है.
Pentane 2,4 dione.
Parent of 5 carbon will be pentane, and when there are two ketonic groups, the E is not dropped and we name it as pentane dione. And the positions would be 2 and 4, hence the name. 2, 4, pentane dione, that's option 2. Understood. Okay. So I'll stop here for today. What I have completed is the introduction part about fundamentals of organic chemistry, where we covered sigma, pi, and the hybridization concept. Second is the classification of organic compound, the identification of aliphatic, alicyclic, and aromatic compounds. Third is the nomenclature of alkanes, kenes, and kynes, and then the nomenclature of polyfunctional compounds. So polyfunctional में भी other functional groups जो है वो बाकी है, which are covered in section G, H, and I, जो मैं next time के लिए cover करूँगा. So portion for this week's test is the section I, related MCQs, and from the synopsis of volume 5, you can refer up to page number 25. All the basics which I have discussed for the organic nomenclature, it's covered up till page number 25. Okay. If you look at page number 20, there are priorities of various functional groups which I have discussed given. Page 20, synopsis. And on 21, the prefix and the suffix which I discussed for the functional group is given. And in between, there are various examples for your understanding, which is also given. So 12.8 and 12.9 may I have deliberately left the spaces for you to complete the answer. तो ये मैं next time discuss कर लूँगा. In case of any doubts, we can have a discussion on that. And I will cover the remaining part of the IUPAC nomenclature in the next session. So is the syllabus clear?
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.